So rad. So obviously, if you guys haven't seen the stunt that Red Bull did with the Carbon Cub landing on a helipad in Dubai, you should go check that out. Mike Patey did a video on it, as well as Red Bull. And I think it's super awesome that Red Bull's jumping in and doing these kind of aviation-based stunts or events. But I've gotten a lot of messages on this asking, is that something I could have landed on? Short answer is I don't think I could or would, but that's kind of a fun topic. So today we're gonna go out and see, realistically, could I land in that small of an area? I got Jerry with me today. He's here to keep me honest and help film. So we need to go find somewhere that we can measure out, hopefully a flat area, to replicate the size of the helipad.
What was the total length of that helipad? About 80 feet?
I think they said that in Mike's video, 80 feet.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can tell you I've never landed in 80 feet.
I just had all sorts of visions of clipping your gear and sliding on your nose right to the other side of the edge.
Yeah.
You're like, see ya.
The traffic, tip box 8 Juliet, taking runway 26 at Alpha 2 will be a right turn out northbound. So now the challenge is where we're gonna find that's relatively flat, that's dry enough for us to land on. I have a spot on a dirt road right up here, and it's kind of, most of the dirt out here is sandy or more DG than like mud, so I think it'll be landable. I mean, I kind of like it.
Hey, do you have a theme song for yourself when you're, getting ready to land or thinking about things?
I do not.
You don't know.
Should I?
Well, I don't know. I think a theme song's always kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it would be Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. So, I'm just gonna land here so we can get a feel for it. Okay, so we found a stretch of road. Now this is gonna be a completely apples and oranges comparison when it comes down to it, because one, we're in a totally different aircraft, two, we're at a totally different elevation, and three, we're on dirt, which has totally different braking profiles. So we're gonna do the best we can to kind of make this a semi-fair comparison. And also, full disclaimer, I've never landed this short ever before, so it's more to see how close could I get to have landing on that. But the rule of thumb for your landing or takeoff roll when it comes to density altitude is for every 1,000 feet of density altitude, you gain 12% in your ground roll. So we are at 4,900 feet right now, density altitude slightly below that. I know the helipad was at 600 feet, so we're gonna say we were 4,000 feet above where he landed. So that's 48% longer ground roll. So we're gonna adjust the 80-foot length by that. So 1.48 times 80, 118 feet. So we're gonna go measure out that distance, put some cones down, and then probably pull some fuel out of the plane and see how close we can come to this. The good stuff right there. A little low lead with some Declan in it.
What's Declan?
Declan's that lead scavenger. It basically helps the engine burn through the lead. The Rotax doesn't love lead, so it builds up on the top of the pistons and in the gearbox, but the lead scavenger helps it burn through. It's just a little additive, help take care of things. Got to take care of your engines the same way you take care of your body, which I think right now is a healthy time for me to take a moment to tell you guys about the sponsor of this video, AG1. AG1 solves two of the most important health needs: the nutrients your body needs each day, and the foundation of long-term gut health. Essential daily routines like AG1 help us set our intentions and keep us moving in a healthy direction. When we're feeling our best, we show up better. AG1 is the perfect step, starting each morning with a simple routine that makes us feel great and helps keep the positive momentum going. So one of my favorite benefits of AG1 is the sustained energy. Now, I used to be someone that after a big lunch, I'd have that kind of afternoon crash and find myself reaching for an energy drink or a coffee. Not anymore. AG1 provides the nutrients that support sustained physical and mental energy, and it includes key ingredients for the energy powerhouse of the body, the mitochondria, which also promote heart health. It's become an effortless daily habit. One scoop or one travel pack of AG1 and 8 to 12 ounces of water every day. That's it. It tastes great, and it's an easy every morning routine that helps ensure that you're getting the proper nutrients into your body to prolong your health and feel better on a daily basis. Go to athleticgreens.com/Trent Palmer to get started on your order. AG1 is going to give my community a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Again, thanks to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. Trying to think of what other factors are at play. Obviously we don't have wind. Braking power is not going to be as great. You know, Mike basically took the wing tanks out of the carbon cub and built a tank that they put behind the passenger seat, so I think in the cargo area, and that did 2 things. The first is it got all that weight out of that high moment arm up above your head. So basically when we're running even like a little fuel like I have right now, when I land and grab the brakes, all the fuel sloshes forward and creates that tilting moment that wants to put me on my nose. So when he put the fuel in the back, it not only helped with that, but also he shifted his CG back too, which will help you get deeper into a stall and get harder on the brakes. So obviously I don't have that advantage. You know what I just realized? I'm used to the setup for a stole competition where we start with our mains on the line and our tails behind it. And obviously on a helipad, you can't leave your tail off the back. So basically we're gonna lose whatever the distance is between my main and my tail wheel, which is probably 15, 20 feet of that 118 feet. You know what I mean? Like stole competitions, we start with our mains on the line and the measurement is to where your mains stop. And just because of a technicality, they allow you to touch your tail wheel before the line. But here that's not an option because it would rip the tail off your plane if you were on that helipad. And that's what I think is so gnarly about the landing that he had, is that, like I mentioned when we were flying, I know plenty of people that have landed or could land shorter than this on any given day, but there's never that kind of consequence. Even if we're landing somewhere rough and there's, you know, say there's rocks that are short of it, you might be ripping a landing gear off and wrecking your plane, but it felt like on the helipad, if he shorted that, like he's probably dying. If he wasn't able to have enough control authority to get off of it and direct the plane, like there's a chance it would have dropped into the building. Like, it's freaking dicey.
Yeah, you just want the tail just past the cone, right?
Yeah, so if that was the edge of that helipad, oh my gosh, this is so short. If that was the edge of the helipad, I would want just to barely be on it.
Coming and, right there, that's it.
Oh my gosh, that's so short. All right, here we go. Oh, I almost had that actually.
Oh, you did not make that on first attempt.
That was actually closer than I expected, I guess. But yeah, no, I definitely would have been going for a bit of a cliff dive. Gosh, I could only imagine the feeling of approaching that helipad with, there's something about approaching, you know, like a cliff edge when you're landing that just makes you feel like the landing's so much smaller than it is. So I could only imagine that helipad, it was just pronounced like times a million. And I'd be off the edge.
So close, but you're off the side of the building. You're dead right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I would be dead.
You have drone to your left up about 100 feet above you, just so FYI. Are you gonna come and try the landing now?
Yep, I'm just looping back to the landing now. Again, watch your head since you are up on that bank.
Yeah, copy that. I'll step back a little bit. Boom, once again, you're off the end of the building.
Dead again. Would have been dead multiple times. So it's a good thing I wasn't the one landing on that helipad. Now there are a couple differences. Obviously, the Carbon Cub he was flying is the same weight as my plane, but a Carbon Cub has 180 square feet to the wing, and I think I'm sub 150, so it has 30 or 40 square feet more wing area than my plane does, which obviously helps. As far as them having more lift and a better power to weight ratio overall. I'm always a little outgunned when I'm trying to compete with my Cub buddies with their big wings. But that said, most of the time at STOL competitions, I'm in the same ballpark, but this wasn't a stock Carbon Cub they had. This was a fairly decently modified one built specifically for the task at hand.
See it happen, man. Make it real. I think you might have done it. Hold on. Yeah! Okay. You're not off the edge of the building. Alright, so now we just got to check the video footage on the entrance when you touchdown, but you made this far. Dude!
I mean, I want to check the footage and see if I scratched on that one, and especially if my tail hit first. But, I mean, it's closer than I thought I'd get, honestly, because most of the time when I tell people my ground roll up here at 5,000 feet, I normally say I'm 200 foot. And we just gave us 118 minus, well, no, I guess 118 safe. I just couldn't short it, right? The takeoff had to be basically 18 feet shorter because my tail had to start on that line. You know what I mean?
But do you think if you had the building to fall off of, you would have been fine?
Yeah, I would have gotten out on the takeoff because I was flying. I just touched again, but you can always trade altitude for airspeed. Like you can take off of a cliff at half of flying speed, and it only takes a little bit to gain that speed. So that's the other thing. The pilot, Luke, like he's a badass. The idea that there was ultimate consequence at this line, like if you shorted it a little bit, you're just ripping your landing gear off and wrecking your day. If you showed it a little bit more, you're dead. And then depending on how you took the go around portion, you could die if you go too long. Like it was just full consequence all the time. And yeah, super impressive. Luke and the Red Bull guys, I have the utmost respect. And again, I'm so pumped that any of this type of stuff is getting done in the aviation world. Like the more eyes on aviation, the better. You guys know that a good part of my goal with all this is to share my love for aviation. So when I see videos like that, projects like that, it's freaking awesome. So I see a tire mark here that did not scratch. You can see it from an angle. I have one here that would have scraped on early. We just need to check if that was the one. I don't see a single tail wheel. I think I did a good job of dragging it in and then plopping up onto the mains. So it's kind of like a balancing act that you try to get it as close to stall. And when I'm right here, I was actually flicking forward with the elevator and dumping flaps to try to get my tires down right here with all the weight on the mains so I could get as much braking as possible and not rip my tail off on the theoretic edge of the helipad. I saw the video in one of them. I don't know if it was behind the scenes or which video it was, but he did a couple passes and the first two passes didn't go great. And he was like, I don't know if I got this. And I was just, dude, I sympathize with that so much. You got to think when you have a helicopter with gyro stabilized camera system chasing you around that's just clicking away money. Clearly they had everyone in position on the helipad ready to go. It looked like they had an FPV drone in the air, like all these cameras and external pressures for this guy to do it right then, right the first time. Like, dude, tons of respect. But yeah, I guess that's it for this video. We just wanted to see if it was doable. I'm gonna say it was theoretical. Maybe with a little more practice, it would be something that I'd be closer to. A few more mods on the plane, maybe I'd think about it, but I have a ton of respect to Luke and all the guys over at Red Bull for putting that together. So yeah, I'm not gonna show you guys us cleaning this up. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. You guys know the drill. Like this video if you do. Subscribe if you haven't. Come be my wingman. See you on the next one. Peace.